The Parrish collection is a result of the work we did for the Parrish Art Museum, which is a building, a new museum building designed by Herzog & de Meuron in Long Island, New York. And it's a project that we were involved in by the architects from the very beginning of their design process. And our responsibility was to take care of more or less the furniture scope of the building, including offices, reception, lobby, cafe, and so on. And of course, we needed a chair for this particular project. And unlike the other pieces of furniture we did for this for the project, that were very purpose-built and in fact built into the museum, static, the chair had to be a real product, and I felt that we needed to team up with a company to develop that chair, the chair specific for the museum. But of course, I expected that such a chair would for sure also turn into a more universal chair. Emeco was the choice because first of all, they're American, the museum is in America. Second, they are a chair company, so destined for that. And third, they make aluminium chairs, and aluminium as the material was perfect for our context. The chair in the museum is used indoors and outdoors, and this is what brought us together. And we started the development on the chair about 2 years ago. It was launched with the museum in November last year, and now this is the commercial launch of a chair which is 90% what the original museum chair is, with some extensions, the upholstered version, the plastic seat. That doing a new chair, we should, look into construction in a different way. So our chair has no welds, it is dry jointed, it's mechanical joints, it uses tube as a kind of industrial prefabricated profile for the frame, and a small piece of die casting, the heart of the chair, the kind of the central joint. And die casting, again, it's an industrial process. You make the tool and then you produce. There's no hand finish to it. This way, I think we've been able to kind of industrialize the process inside emeco. But I think it's an interesting chair construction that is really based on that one central joint, which is in fact invisible. Only if you turn the chair upside down, you see it. It's the joint that kind of brings all the pieces of tube together, but also it is the platform for fixing the seat, and the seat is a separate element, and that allows us to change the seat. At the moment we have 3 different materials. Plastic is the really basic material, and that is the most kind of, probably will be the most common chair, and also outdoor compatible. Then there's a wooden seat, and in the original Parrish chair we use the wooden seat. And the third material is upholstery, which there is in different upholstered materials, but that's the third option. And then there is the chair in the natural aluminium finish, which is, I think, iconic for what emeco is. But also we introduce a powder coated black finish, which turns the chair really into a completely different, into let's say a more elegant, more refined, and probably more domestic chair. I think the biggest challenge was going this way with emeco. Emeco, the company that is so set up for making the chairs, the navy chair, and all the kind of types of chairs similar. And I think I think the challenge is a good challenge. The challenge is a process, and I think luckily we had time to allow for this process to go through together and to make small steps of development, of then refinement, of getting things right. And I think now really at this point in the Milan Fair we are at this is a finished product. This is what it will be. All the pieces that are molded come off the real molds. The assembly, the manufacture of the tubular parts has been kind of tested, and so it's.
Where did you find inspiration for the form of the chair?
Inspiration for the form, I think, has to do with the museum, first of all, what the museum is and the situation of the museum. Mainly the cafe, which we designed for the museum, which has an indoor part and a large terrace. And so we knew exactly the site, the location, the architectural environment, and we realized that our chair in that situation would be seen in multiplication. So we have 50 chairs. You see 50 chairs at once, and I think the choice of just making this line drawing of tube has to do with trying to kind of make the chair as visually light and transparent as possible, because imagine another kind of chair which is made of planes. 50 of them would really create a mass or a volume, something solid, whereas our lines are just becoming, I don't know, a nice kind of spaghetti of these tubes, and so that was one aspect. Of course, the practical aspect of imagining the function, how would people sit in it, when, where, what do they do when they sit in it, was another aspect, and the reducing the chair to a seat and just this bent piece of tube as a back support, but also as an armrest, as describing a space within which you sit. So it's not just a backrest. It's actually it's a kind of, it's describing a space. That was another aspect, and then I think some technical aspects also inform the result, but they're kind of least.